Greetings, you're listening to the Fandom Symposium once again. With us is Thomas Droven, Puja723, and the lovely Iris. Greetings, girls.
Hello.
It seems that our symposium was a bit of a success, we have to keep the crowds in check, as it were.
Yeah, to those of you in the audience, thank you for listening to our first podcast. I know it was really, really long, an hour and 30 minutes of us just blabbering about Kingdom Hearts.
But you guys will survive.
Yes.
You guys will survive.
Incidentally, listeners, what we express here is just our own personal opinions. We don't mean to offend or upset anyone who might have different opinions on certain characters and stuff that we discuss about.
You have anything else to say, Iris? To the
No.
No.
I just want to talk about DBZ.
Yeah, we're talking about
My
DBZ.
first love.
Yes, we're talking about...
Yes.
See, we do other things other than play video games. We watch anime, too.
Even though that has evolved into a video game now, but we are going to talk about what makes us tick with Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, we're talking about Dragon Ball Z, and not this Dragon Ball Z Kai that you kids nowadays have. Okay, back in our day, Dragon Ball Z was the shit.
It will always be the shit. I still have students who are super into Dragon Ball Z, and that gives me hope for these
Yes, it
younger
gives me hope too.
generations.
Yes.
That's great. What can I say about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z?
Well, how did you find out about it?
GT just needs to die in a fire. Anyways, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z was made by Akira Toriyama. You people out there might know him because he influenced Naruto, he influenced Bleach, he influenced One Piece. Because of Akira Toriyama, you kids today would not have the 3 biggest shonen anime out there in Japan right now. So you have to thank Dragon Ball for that.
Yes.
Akira Toriyama is a legend when it comes to anime. And Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, especially in the United States and internationally, it was a hit. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to ask you, Iris, how'd you get into Dragon Ball Z?
The first time I saw it, I was young. I was pretty young. I was somewhere in between 8 and 11 years old, and I went to go watch TV, and my brother had beaten me to the TV. And he was watching Dragon Ball Z. And I remember the first thing I ever saw of it was Gohan flying across the screen. And I was like, what the hell is this crap? And then a few days later, I had the TV to myself. I don't know where anybody else was. And as I was flipping through the channels, I saw again the same show. And I was like, what is this? And so then I ended up just sitting there and watching it, and then after that I got really into it.
I got into Dragon Ball Z through my cousin because he was such a hardcore fan. He was 10 years old, and my cousin had school, and he would always come home late. So he's begging me, can you tape record? Yes, we had VHS back in the day, not this DVR crap that you kids have today. We had VHS. So he was like, can you tape record this show for me? I need to watch this show. I need to see what happens next. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? It used to come on Toonami at around, I think, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and my cousin was still in school. While I'm doing my homework and doing my little math calculations, I'm hearing Goku in the background, and Gohan in the background, and Vegeta in the background, and then my attention just goes far away from my homework, and I turn to the TV, and I listen all intently at the screen at what I'm listening to. And then that's how I got into it. And my first legit episode was, when Vegeta died, when Frieza killed him. What about you, Thomas?
I was, a friend of mine, he'd actually, brought me into, Dragon Ball Z. What he'd done is, this was, in the 1990s, and, they showed it actually on early morning television and such like this, and he'd been taping it and such. And I was over visiting, and he was showing me this episode of Dragon Ball Z. It was where Goku was taking on the Ginyu Force, and he was moving so fast that you couldn't actually see that he'd been moving, except for the lining and the ground that he'd done it. And I didn't think very much of it, and bits and pieces. He showed me other bits and pieces. I was seeing Frieza turn up and everything like that, and saying to myself, "Is that a girl?" And he's going, "No, that's actually a guy, believe it or not." And I still didn't think much of it. It was when they got up to the Android saga that I actually started to take more notice, because I was quite impressed with how they were put together and what it was all about, and that's where the ball got rolling for me.
I think everyone, everybody, when Dragon Ball Z was really, really popular back in the 90s, I think everyone got into the show during the Androids and Cell saga. Mm-hmm. I think so. Because, to be honest, I think that's the best. Frieza's okay, and then, the Saiyan saga, it's just constant fighting. There's, not really that much of a story. I mean, there is a story, but, every other episode, it's either Goku charging up or somebody dying. But I think the Androids and Cell Saga, I think that's what really made Dragon Ball Z so popular for everybody when it was airing here. What's your favorite saga?
Well, thanks. Favorite saga for me, would have to be the Androids and Cell, because I was quite impressed at how mistakes of your past can come back and bite you, can come and get you in a major way, as it were, or bite you in the ass, as the classic saying goes. Somebody from Goku's past, who just couldn't really seem to let it go. Dr. Gero, he studies Goku up, blue streak and everything like that, find out what makes him tick, and then builds machines to take him out, because, saying, there is no way I'm going to lose to this dummy. I'm a genius, so therefore I'm going to show everyone, especially him, what a genius can actually do. And, puts together, although, mind you, this genius is pretty flawed, however, even flawed, he still had a few bits and pieces up his sleeve that nobody quite knew about until much later on. And, that was quite impressive, I thought.
What about you, Iris?
Obviously I love the Cell and Android saga, but if I had to choose a saga that I liked the best, it would probably be the Frieza saga. Because it was really fun going to Namek and, getting introduced to Vegeta as somebody other than the crazy psychopath who just shows up on Earth trying to kill everyone. And, Bulma meeting Vegeta for the first time, Goku becoming Super Saiyan for the first time, what's-his-face,
yeah.
Paranga, the dragon that they have on Namek is super awesome. Can't remember his name right now, but he's awesome. And then, the ending of how, they all come down to Earth and Vegeta's just there pouting under a tree, and then Captain Fury as a dog. It's just, I don't know. For me, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, and he's just chilling in Bulma's house. Just chilling there, and then he leaves.
Chill.
I hate not to be original, but I'm gonna say the Android Cell Saga only because of one reason and one reason only, is that's because they introduced Trunks and...
I was just about to say Future Trunks.
Yes, it always seems to be him.
Yeah, my fictional husband. Yeah, that's why the Androids and Cell Saga. It was my favorite, and not only that, it's just that, and also because the way Gohan, he kind of took over Goku's responsibility as protecting the Earth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's why. And also Cell being such a badass villain. So that's my reason.
Cell was amazing.
And not bad for an evolution from a bug to the perfect fighter or something like that. Alright, so it all seems to be the, 2 for the Cell Saga and 1 for Frieza Saga. So much for Majin Buu.
I like the Frieza Saga now. Watching Dragon Ball Z Kai uncut and dubbed, it is so much better now than how it was dubbed before. Frieza does not sound like a lady anymore, thank God. He sounds like a dude. It's yes. And he sounds really, really threatening in Dragon Ball Z Kai. It's like you cause we know Frieza's a tyrant. But in the old dub, we didn't see what he's capable of, but watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, you knew he was a threat. And you knew he had to be stopped.
Although I have to say my follow-up would have to be the Buu Saga, because I quite enjoyed watching Majin Buu, a very complicated creature, and how it all turned out at the end. You find out,
I really love Buu, but I did not like the Buu Saga.
Let's talk about Dragon Ball, Iris. Just Dragon Ball. Not Z, not GT. Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball is the cutest manga ever.
It is.
I freaking love it. so much. Just being able to see Goku as this derpy little boy and Bulma as this freaking 16-year-old just racing around and, you know, like, where were her parents? It's like, this is Pokemon Junior. Only instead of 10 years old, she was 16. Right. And then, you know, Yamcha and Puar and Oolong, you get to see Master Roshi and Krillin. Eventually, it was just so much fun.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Dragon Ball, it was more like an adventure anime with mixed in with martial arts in it. That's what I saw it as. And let's not forget Bulma wanting to find the Dragon Balls so she could get a boyfriend. It's like, really, Bulma? You're already hot, okay? You don't need the Dragon Balls to find a boyfriend.
Well, you were right. It is very like an adventure quest, and it turns out that's not you're not alone in it, because it turns out other individuals have heard of them and want them for their own one. We meet Emperor Paleth, who wanted to become ruler of the world. Although I keep asking myself,
yes.
I keep asking myself, what is he actually the emperor of? I keep asking myself, because we hear he's an emperor, so aren't you satisfied just being an emperor? Obviously not.
He wants the whole world.
Yes, and then you find out about the Red Ribbon Army, you know, that they wanted for world domination, and naturally, of course, it's their leader who has a Napoleon complex, who just wants to get taller. And then later on, when you come up against guys like Piccolo, when he turns up being the bad guy, he wants his youth back, you know, so he can go on being a really rotten guy.
Everybody in that show got to do something. Everybody got involved. Bulma, Yamcha, Oolong, Puar, Tien, Chaozu, Launch, Chi-Chi. Everybody got involved in that show. And
they really did.
Yeah, they did. They really did. It's not like with DBZ, like the minor characters in Dragon Ball, they just got pushed aside for the other characters. No, Dragon Ball, everybody got involved.
And what I liked about it as well was that most of them who started off as bad guys, they turned out to, you know, they after meeting Goku and that, they straightened out their acts and became allies, as it were. You know, like you had Piccolo, a villain, and then you had Tien and Chiaotzu, and you know, then they straightened out their acts as well.
Okay, I guess that goes into DBZ with the Saiyan Saga with Raditz, which nobody likes Raditz.
I mean, I feel like I would have liked Raditz more if they would have gotten more into his character.
Right.
That first season, quote unquote, that first saga is just such a basic bitch.
It is.
Because, you know, if you compare it to like how complex the later seasons get, it's so basic. Because the only thing it does is introduce the fact that Goku's an alien.
Right.
That's it. It's like they don't do anything special at all except for kill his brother, and I think they killed him too.
Right, yeah, and
yeah,
also...
Or was it Piccolo that died?
And also it introduces us to Gohan's little power-up whenever he gets really, really mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty much Raditz. And then Goku's dead for like a year.
Yes.
And he's
running along
like
Snake Way.
Snake Way, yeah. That was
down
like,
to hell for infinite losers.
No, it's hell.
Yeah.
It's hell.
Or whatever you want to call
it. It's not HFIL, it's hell.
Okay. Yes, he goes down there and he, you know, has to cheat in order to find his way out of things. And then running into Princess Snake, of all people, along there. And you think to yourself, boy, this woman is obviously used to getting what she wants.
Moving along.
Yes.
And then we see King Kai, and King Kai teaches him Spirit Bomb. While that's happening in Otherworld, Vegeta and Nappa show up and start beating the crap out of everybody and killing
everybody with their little Saiyajin, those beanie men.
The Cybermen?
Yes.
Yes, them.
Sort of like their version of a warm-up, as it were, to keep them in shape.
And let's not forget Vegeta's infamous line in the entire Saiyan saga that everybody knows now. That whole "it's over 9,000" line. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that joke. Like even the voice actors, in Japan know that joke. Like everybody knows that joke.
It's over 9,000. His strength. It's not his IQ.
No, but you know what's funny? In the manga, it's really 8,000, not 9. Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Anyways, okay, yeah. And Goku shows up. He beats the crap out of Nappa. Vegeta was getting sick of Nappa's shit and he kills him. And then, in my opinion, one of the best fights ever in Dragon Ball Z. Vegeta and Goku round 1. That was such a good fight because everything kept moving. Like, it was like the battle, it was so kinetic. Like, something was always happening on screen. What did you guys think of the Vegeta-Goku fight in the Saiyan Saga?
It was good.
What about you, Thomas?
The giant monkey.
I was thinking to myself after such an epic battle and how finally, Vegeta actually meets his match, which to him is unthinkable, and Goku is actually magnanimous enough to let him go, especially when Krillin could have easily killed him. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, as he leaves, I'm thinking to myself, this is the beginning of a very, very long rivalry, I feel, because Vegeta's obviously the type of guy who doesn't forget things like this.
But I like their rivalry, like Goku and Vegeta's rivalry. Like, it's like one of the best things like ever written when it comes to anime.
It really is.
Just to the Frieza saga, which seemed to last really, really long over here in the States, because when it first aired, it would always stop right after Goku lands on Namek, and then it would go back to episode 1. It's like, what? What happened? What happened to the episode? Wasn't Goku in outer space on planet Namek? And it's like, why is it back to the first episode? What's going on? And then finally, in 1998 or 1999, Funimation finally dubbed the entire series, and that was like the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys think of it?
I was thinking to myself, where does Frieza find these people, especially when he's got the Ginyu Force? I'm thinking to myself, I've never met a bigger bunch of posers in my entire life. That means that they are very, very insecure in their job, even though they love their work.
I love the Ginyu Force. They're hilarious.
Yeah, well, they're alright. They're alright. But as for Frieza, I'm thinking to myself, just how many changes can this guy go through, and why does it take so many episodes to get through it? Because it requires a lot of concentration, or are we just building up the suspense here?
Well, I mean, the Frieza saga did do something good. We finally see Goku becoming a Super Saiyan, so that was pretty.
And Frieza actually got better looks as he went along.
Yeah, Iris, what'd you think of Frieza, of the Frieza saga in general?
Well, like I said, it's my favorite one, so I liked it. I don't think, I was young, so it didn't seem tedious to me. I just was excited, that the show was all the time. I remember, guys, I was obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. My 12th birthday was Dragon Ball Z. I came to Puerto Rico, and I didn't want to go out anywhere because I wanted to watch Dragon Ball Z.
Wow.
I would make because I came to visit my aunt and, my mom's side of the family, and I would make sure that the outings didn't conflict with the airing of Dragon Ball Z.
That was me.
That is how obsessed I was with that show.
That was me, Iris, except with Sailor Moon. That was basically how I was with Sailor Moon. That was basically me with Sailor Moon.
And it was during that Frieza saga that, it's just, I loved it.
Right.
I like the fact that they went up into space. I'm a huge fan of science fiction. So, them being in the spaceship and, going up onto a different planet was just so amazing to me.
Mm-hmm. That's cool,
yeah.
And then we see Gohan and Bulma and everybody, they're back on Earth, and then Purunga's like, no, he can't bring Goku back because he doesn't feel like coming back. Like, what the hell? Like, are you serious?
No, well, it's called free will, even a dragon can't force somebody if they don't want to.
But this is a dragon that is considered, the highest form of power in the Dragon Ball Z universe until we get to Battle of Gods, until we get to that, which we will get to much later in this podcast. Okay, somebody talk about the androids and Cell, because I'm just gonna be too busy fangirling.
Don't you want to do Garlic Jr.?
No! We're not going into Garlic Jr. That was a waste of time!
Okay,
well, that
fine,
was a filler season.
That was like so filler. It's like, why would you show us that and then have this epicness of a saga come in right after? It's like, why? Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well,
somebody.
Well, I remember.
Go ahead, Iris.
Okay. Well, I remember just being, like, in awe of, like, future Trunks, and the fact that he was, you know, Bulma and Vegeta's kid,
Right.
because I never really thought, you never really think about that possibility until, well, at least at that age, you know, because you're just so into all the fighting and stuff, and then suddenly it's like, whoa, they're gonna have a baby? It's like, what the hell? Like, these two? And then, you know, the whole 3-year gap where you see everybody training, and then suddenly the androids appear, and they don't even look that bad, but then they just, like, destroy Vegeta and everybody else, and it's like, what is happening? It's like, what is going on? Why are they so cool?
Right?
It's just so cool, yes.
Who actually thought that Trunks was, Bulma and Yamcha's kid?
Well, I
didn't.
knew... I knew that he was obviously Bulma's kid because similar hair, but I honestly didn't know who the father was until later on. I'm thinking to myself, oh, Vegeta, it turns out you do have a human soul under there after all.
Hey, Vegeta has more of a human soul than Goku, considering what Akira Toriyama said, and we'll get to that later.
Carry on.
Yeah, but the androids in Cell Saga, it was pretty much the pin. Even Android 19 and 20, they were amazing. Yep. 17, 18, and 16, they were amazing. Cell was just a flawless villain.
Freaking Cell.
I know, right?
I loved him so much.
So do I. Like,
I would have married him. Like,
what?
I'm not even gonna lie. Yes.
What?
Yes. That is my deep, dark secret that I'm revealing to you guys right now. I totally would have gotten with Cell if this whole thing were real.
Ew.
He's powerful. What do you mean, ew?
Ew.
We could have taken on the universe together. I could have been queen. I could have been queen over everything.
Well, maybe you should have gone to Dr. Giro. Maybe he could do a female version of Cell for him.
I don't know you anymore, Iris. Who are you? What have you done with my friend that I've known for years? You are not my friend. I do not know you anymore.
Yes.
Hey,
I'm
if
not over
I
that.
forgive you for liking 17, you can get over this, okay?
You are listening to A Family at War.
Okay, you got me there, Iris. It'll maybe take me a day or two to get over your infatuation with Cell, but
Let's just carry on.
anyway, before I have a heart attack, let's go into the Boo Saga.
You don't want to do the afterworld battle where Goku has the afterworld tournament?
Well, that's part of the Boo Saga.
No, because he's a dick. Okay, Goku had no reason to be there while Chi-Chi's giving birth, you know, popping out babies that look like him, but he's over there having fun fighting. Because that's all he cares about, that bastard. I don't care. He had the choice to come back, and he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that, Iris. We'll get to that later. Yeah, okay, yeah, the Boo Saga. What was the point of Gohan going to high school? Like,
but because of Videl, that bitch. That's war.
Well, if you want to blame someone, blame Chi-Chi, because, she's always obsessing with, her, family, that the next generation must be born, so therefore my boys are gonna have to meet a girl sooner or later. And, she didn't want them to be unthinking louts like their father.
True.
She meant well. She quite enjoys playing matchmaker.
True, yeah. Like, to be honest, like, I don't really like Videl as a character. Not because you hate her, Artist, but I don't really find her, I mean, she's cute and all, but I don't really find her that, important to the...
Well, she was cute. After she got her haircut, I really liked her.
Yeah, much better, yes. But you have to sympathize. You think to yourself, oh, yes, and your father is Hercule, but, yeah, I didn't know whether to laugh or sympathize with her.
I would really like to know who Videl's mother is.
Yes, all right, to the Boo Saga.
I think the cool thing about bringing in another female character like Videl is that we had a female character who fought.
Yeah,
because obviously we had Bulma throughout all of these seasons,
and
who, she does a lot of stuff, but she doesn't fight. And then after that, she became like a minor character that you don't really see her unless they want to have Goku looking like a fool getting yelled at.
Right.
So it was nice having a female who was human show up and just be kind of gangster with everything.
True.
Yeah, true.
And let's not forget Goten and Little Trunks. I found those kids to be adorable together. They're like so cute together. Like they're such good best friends, and like it kind of sucks that Goten's not born in the future world. Like Trunks is future Trunks is like all by himself with his mommy. He doesn't have anybody. It's like what the hell. Anyways, yeah, but Goten and Little Trunks, they were so adorable together. They were such great friends. And I think that, that was really lacking in like the DBZ department when it came to friends, because it was like either you had a companion or you had a family. That was it. There was nothing about friends or anything like that. So that, I kind of give the Buu Saga points for that. Mm-hmm. It showed friendship. Like even the friendship between Hercule and Buu. Like that was something good. I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that friendship was amazing.
Yes, yes, it was, wasn't it?
Loved it.
Yes, it never occurred to anyone, they're always fighting Boo and everything like that. Have you ever just tried talking to the guy? Hercule did make an effort, to try and get rid of it, but, Boo thought it was all part of just doing ordinary things. And the cowardly lion in Hercule, actually managed to tame the savage beast. Unfortunately, thoughtless clods brought out a monster, when they attack him.
Oh yeah, when Boo's little puppy got hurt and Hercule got hurt, yeah, that was messed up. And that was surprising. That was surprising too. It was like two ordinary humans, doing that to somebody like a creature like Boo. Oh, and let's not forget Vegeta being a jerk and listening to Babidi just so he can fight Goku again.
That was super dumb. The Buu Saga wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't that bad, except for that.
Right.
That really pissed me off.
Right, because it shows like Vegeta, he's still way obsessed over surpassing Goku, and he needed that kind of power just to surpass him, and he does surpass Goku when he gets that power,
Mm-hmm. But at least he didn't allow himself to be a puppet on a string for Babidi. Babidi says, kill the guy. He says, no! I want Kakarot. Tough luck.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I did not like Supreme Kai at all. Like, to be honest.
The one that's supposedly the handsome one?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's not forget the surprise appearance of the Elder Kai as well.
Oh god, that Elder Kai. Oh my god. What is with Japan and their old, and having old perverted teachers? Like, I don't understand that. Like,
he was more like he was a bit of an oddball for me. I mean, his method to power up Gohan was a bit odd. First of all, he's starting ceremony, and then 12 hours just sitting there with his arms out while he's busy reading a comic book or something like that. I'm thinking to myself, are you really...
That was not a comic book, Thomas. That was really a dirty magazine.
Oh, really? I'm sorry, I didn't get a good look at it.
No, because in the English version on TV, they edited a lot, and I have the uncut version, so that was really like a dirty magazine that he was reading. And it's like, but like, I don't understand, like, is it a Japanese thing to have, like, the old teachers be, like, the old wise teachers be perverted? I mean, I don't...
Something like that.
I don't understand that. Like, and I don't think I'll ever understand that, to be honest. But yeah, back to Boo. And then how many forms did Boo have? 3? There was...
Yeah, he had his fat, jolly version, then it was his thin, unpleasant version, and then there was there was Bad Boo, if you want to, when he first came out.
Right.
Then his more slim version, and then finally Kid Boo when, they cut him down and, he reverted back to how he was originally all those years ago.
Right, and at least, the Boo Saga, it did introduce us to, Fusion, which that was kind of interesting, but kind of
that was a lot of fun.
It was, but it was also kind of pointless at the same time because, like even Gotenks and Vegeta, they weren't really doing much against, Kid Boo or Super Boo or whatever the heck that thing is called. Mm-hmm. Like they weren't really doing much against Boo. So I mean, and of all the things to defeat Boo, it was the Spirit Bomb with everybody's energy combined.
But mind you,
go ahead, Thomas. Go ahead.
Yeah, but mind you, it was due to the fact of our good friend Hercule, because they weren't going to listen to a total stranger like Vegeta, because they had no idea who he's on about. But, Hercule, at least they listened to him, so, why the hell not? And you think to yourself, thank you for keeping Hercule around.
Speaking of Vegeta, that character development he got in the Boo Saga, that was just phenomenal. I loved his character growth in the Boo Saga. Like, I just recently watched, because in Japan they're doing the Boo Saga for Dragon Ball Z Kai, and I just watched, like, a couple of days ago, I watched his death scene when he was gonna blow himself up, when Boo was going to, attack everyone and Vegeta sacrifices himself. I cried, like legit tears were coming out of my eyes. I was like, why am I crying? I know what's gonna happen, but why do I have tears in my eyes? What is going on? It was like that episode in Japanese, it was just so emotional for me. Like, even though I knew, he was gonna be okay, I just had tears in my eyes. I'm like, Vegeta, you awesome character. Like, wow.
Anyone else?
Iris, you have anything to say about the Boo Saga?
Well, I mentioned it earlier. I really like the friendship between Hercule and Boo. And I'm pretty sure that's where I started to really like Hercule as a character. Because in the Cell Saga, you just see him as kind of like a douchebag.
Yeah, he was very, he's like a show off a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he grows on you a lot in the Boo Saga.
Yeah, he's a cowardly lion-like character, He did have his moments in the Cell Saga when Android 16 asked him, could you toss my head over so I could have a word to Gohan, please? And, even though he's compatriots there say, he's an android, he's been causing all this trouble, but he reckons, so what, if he wants me to do my little bit to help, however small, then I will do it, and, so he does it, and, even though his ridiculous attempts at trying his own ways to fly and everything don't work, he does try and make an effort with Boo, and he does, but I think to myself, man, that man's guardian angel must have a full time looking after him. The whole world gets wiped out except for him and his dog. And I'm thinking to myself, now that's real good.
Okay, and then the ending of Z introduces us to Pan, to Bra. We have to go into it, Iris. We have to go into the mess that is Dragon Ball GT that needs to die in a fire. Like, if I had the 7 Dragon Balls, I would tell Shenron, can you erase GT out of existence? Like,
well,
you would waste a wish on that?
Yes, I would.
You can consider it canon, or you can consider it an impersonation and it doesn't exist at all. It's just a figment of somebody's diseased brain.
Well, I mean, Akira Toriyama did help a little bit. Like, he did, like, Akira Toriyama did not make GT, but he kind of helped, so it kind of is canon, and it kind of isn't canon.
It's not canon. He said it. It does not count as official Dragon Ball Z. Which, I'm gonna say, even though I do not like GT, I think it sucks. Because the whole Super Saiyan 4 was awesome.
Yeah,
I cannot even deny that the Super Saiyan 4 form was amazing. Like, it's so badass looking.
Yeah, but then you have things like, Pan not being a Super Saiyan, Bra not doing shit in GT, Vegeta having that lame-ass mustache.
Don't worry, he shaved it off.
But still, it's like...
that was a very entertaining scene,
I'll admit that. Yeah, that was pretty good. But it's like, you have all these characters, and they're not doing anything. The only person that is important in GT is Goku. Goku is capable of doing anything in GT. Everybody else, nope. Everybody else is useless. Everybody can probably I don't know, sit in the background and I'm like...
basically a Mary Sue. I don't even want to call him a Gary Sue. He's just a Mary Sue.
Pretty much, yeah. In GT.
That is why you can consider GT canon, or you consider it a twisted alternative universe or something like that.
Right, yeah, but I'm sorry, Thomas, but I did not like Pan at all because she was just such a brat.
Yes,
we'll
get to that in a minute.
You're Goku's granddaughter, and you're acting like a little brat. Like, I didn't even like Trunks in GT because Future Trunks pretty much established what little Trunks is supposed to grow up, and you give us this. It's like, why? Why would you do that to us? Freaking
Well,
GT.
because it didn't happen for him, did it?
Yeah, but that's what a lot of people, it's not just me, but that's what a lot of people were assuming, little Trunks was going to grow up as. This badass warrior from the future. Nope, he doesn't get that in GT.
So, I didn't mind GT. I was just thinking to myself, it was an interesting idea of creating Dark Star Dragon Balls, except with a bit of a downfall. I was thinking to myself, oh, I see, so you get a red version of Shenron, the big deal, but then I find out, it turns out you have 1 year to bring them back, or otherwise the planet of origin where they were used will blow up. And I'm thinking, boy, then I can understand why they were never used after that. And instead of all over the world, all over the galaxy, and going after it and going after them on different planets was a bit of a challenge, and within a year, and then stumbling upon other things as you go along.
That was GT's problem. Like, in my opinion, it was just rehashing old stories from Z and Dragon Ball. Instead of a road trip, it's a space adventure. Instead of, having Cell, you have Super Android 17. Instead of, I don't know how to compare the 7 stupid dragons, which that doesn't even make sense. And the Black Star Dragon Balls, where did they come from? Why weren't they mentioned in Z? Why didn't Popo or Kami or Dende mention these Dragon Balls in Z when, this is supposed to be the main subject in GT? Like, I do not understand. Like, where does all this story come from? Like, I do not understand. Like, how are you supposed to have a story when when one series is saying this, but the other series is saying that? Like, I do not understand.
It's like they didn't,
I don't know, it's like you said, they could have done so many different things with the sequel to Dragon Ball Z if they were going to be focusing on the kids.
Right.
But they didn't. They turned Goku into a child and just kept him on as the main character anyways. Like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because like the ending of Z, like, to be honest, it was really supposed to be Gohan's story. Goku was supposed to be dead. He wasn't supposed to come back. It's just that the thing is, I guess, fan demand, we wanted more.
Yeah.
And,
I feel like
Go ahead,
GT
Iris.
was supposed to be a parallel to Dragon Ball. Because if you think about it, both of them have Kid Goku. It's both of them are about traveling, searching for the Dragon Balls and stuff. Only it's a little bit more intense in GT, since if they don't find them, everybody dies.
Right, yeah.
But it would have been nice to see something different.
Well, to be honest, I'll give GT credit. I enjoyed Baby. That's the only thing I enjoyed. That's the only thing I enjoyed. I did not enjoy anything else. Baby, he was interesting to me.
Yeah, I found that interesting because I didn't know exactly how did the Saiyans actually get their own planet or anything. We didn't know very much about their history, and then we find out, oh dear, it turns out that they were nomads, and they decided, this planet looks nice, let's trash it, and you start a 10-year war, and you almost destroy the occupants. And I could understand why, that the remainders would be a little bit bitter about it, and saying, we give up our nice planet to a bunch of stupid, dumb space monkeys, and they, it was a bit like Dr. Gero in that case, and, so they make Baby. But what I found really interesting was, Dr. Mew, he thinks he's made Baby when it was actually the reverse. Baby made him so he could keep working on him and everything like that. And, and he thinks to himself, boy, this guy really knows how to bear a grudge, You just can't really get over the fact that happened so many years ago, and you really want to rub it in their faces that, we don't forget grudges, us Tuffles.
Speaking of Dr. Mew, I just felt like he was just a recolor of Dr. Gero. Pretty much. Cause that's what he looks like. Like when you see the two of them together, it's like, okay, they're based off, similar characteristics. And I don't know, how the hell do you make Super 17? Like, that does not make any sense at all to me. It's like, what? It's like you made why would you make another Android 17 when you can make another Cell? Seriously? Like, really? Like, why would you, and Super, the whole...
It could have been worse. They could have made a Super Android 18.
I think that would have been actually better than Super 17, to be honest. Cause that is just weird. I don't even know it's just that whole part with Super 17, that was just a mess. They didn't know where
it was just stupid because they had already revealed that 17 ends as a park ranger. He meets a nice girl. They adopt 2 kids, and then suddenly this is what happens.
Right?
Really? I don't know.
I don't know either. And
it just doesn't sit well.
I felt felt like with Super 17, they didn't know whether they were coming or going. They really had no idea what to do at that point, I think.
Yes, I think it was beginning to, actually it felt more like a bit of a filler when you really think about it now, don't you?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Because I was a bit disappointed with how briefly the villains just turned up thinking, what, no stimulating conversation before you destroy each
I
other?
love that part, with all the villains coming back. That was awesome. And
I liked it. I liked it too. I was just expecting a little bit more drawn out of them, that's all.
And
for old time's sake.
the best part is Vegeta killing Nappa again in like 2 seconds. Like, that was awesome.
I'm thinking, that's what, I was a bit disappointed at that. I'm saying, what, aren't you going to, at least demand an explanation, Nappa, as to, I could have, I did my best, couldn't you at least give me another chance? I'm here now, don't I get another chance? But no.
Right.
But mind you, I could understand why you wanted to beat him up, saying, oh yeah, I stuff up and, you kill me, so, I'm gonna kill you, and so, no, too bad, you get blown up again, because you're a moron.
Right, yeah, but, yeah, let's get to the end of GT with fighting all those dragons, which I do not understand. How the hell do you do that? Like, that's just weird, and it's just, I think they were just trying to, like, draw out the series, like prolong the series ending, I guess. But that's just my opinion, like, with those stupid 7 dragons, and then the ultimate dragon, Omega Shenron. At least, Vegeta and Goku got to fuse in their Super Saiyan 4 form, which, wouldn't that, like, destroy the universe if that happened? GT, I do not like it. Like, I'm glad, GT ended when it did.
Yeah. Well, I thought, the Dark Dragon was a good idea, because I'm thinking to myself, when was the last time anyone actually did make a negative wish with them? And as the Elder Kai pointed out, you people couldn't even tie your shoelaces without using those Dragon Balls all the time. And, it made sense why they disperse, and it takes about 100 years to go and find them. And I think to myself, constant use, there's got to be a drawback to it somewhere, and then you find out the reasons. Shenron is a good dragon, but unfortunately, these are different aspects of him, negative, saying, no, I don't grant wishes, we're going to just destroy you, because it turns out, Shenron wished this, Shenron wished that, we don't do it, sorry.
like that part of GT, that was a good idea. It's just that it was executed so poorly. It was just, the idea was executed so poorly. They could have done so much more with that idea, yet they didn't. And Iris, you've been pretty quiet. Do you have anything to say about GT?
I didn't. The only thing I ever watched of GT, because my brother was the one who watched it, not me. The only thing I ever really watched was the part with Vegeta and the mustache. And then there was one with a slimy dragon, I think, or like he smelled or something.
That was the first one. Hey, Shenron.
Okay. Yes, I remember seeing him, and I remember seeing bits and parts of the Super Saiyan 4 section. But I never actually, watched it, so I can't...
What about the movies? Have you guys seen, the other movies?
Okay, I've seen Lord Slug, Cooler's...
You mean not King Piccolo? Because that's what Lord Slug basically is. He's basically King Piccolo.
Yeah, but it was a very clever attempt at creating a race that even Namakians cannot be proud of. Then the Revenge of Cooler and Cooler's Return and Super Android 13.
Right. What happened to the androids after, before 16, sorry.
Yeah. It's obvious what Giro did was he copied his brain print onto the computer and obviously programmed it to activate these 3 standbys just in case everything went wrong, including Cell getting blown up in his tank before he was developed, so when that happened, it switched on and finished.
I like that, Android, 13? No, 4,
yeah.
I liked that Android 14 and 15, they were just stereotypes.
Yeah.
That's what they basically were, Iris. They were, I think, what was it? 15 was a Native American stereotype, and Android 14 was a African American stereotype. Mm-hmm. That's what they basically were.
Yeah. Let's not forget, Android 15 was a drinker as well. Gets out the old flask, has a sip, and says, okay, let's dance.
Right, yeah.
Racismo.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
I said racismo. Racism.
Right.
Cultural appropriation.
Right, for real.
And then 13 gets tanked up and, I think, oh man, he's lost his looks, but now he looks like, Goku and Vegeta on a bad day.
What other movies have you seen, Thomas?
Apart from that, none others, well, actually, only the ones Future showed me, where, there was that big mess up in the other, what was that one? Where all the waste or something from the, station created a monster similar to Boo. Oh, and the Hindegard one, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked that. I liked, well, Fusion Reborn, it was okay, but it was just rehashing Majin Buu. Like the whole Majin Buu story. But at least, what was it, Goten and Trunks, they killed Hitler. There was a guy that looked like Hitler on the in the movie.
Or a Hitler wannabe, yeah.
Yeah. But it
killed off by a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy, yes.
Yeah, it was pretty much Hitler. Like, you could make the obvious, parallels, like, that's Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, and, the first Broly movie you showed me.
Oh yeah. Oh, speaking of which, on the internet, like lurking on the internet, there's like this comic in Japan that shows what Broly looks like as a Super Saiyan 4, and it's like, what?
I'm trying not to picture that. I can imagine Goku and Vegeta, but just not Broly, it's thinking to myself, no, too much hair.
I mean, he looks exactly the same as Goku and Vegeta as a Super Saiyan 4, except he's more bulkier, and he looks creepy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have seen all the Dragon Ball Z movies. I've seen Dead Zone, I've seen World's Strongest, I've seen Tree of Might, I've seen Lord Slug, I've seen Cooler, I've seen Cooler's Revenge, I've seen all 3 Broly movies, I've seen Fusion Reborn, I've seen, Wrath of the Dragon, and I've seen the Bardock and History of Trunks movies. I've seen all of them.
Wow.
And I enjoyed some of them. Some of them I did not enjoy because they were just like rehashing old stories.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Some of them were, but others were pretty good. Some of them were pretty good, and well, the Hindegard one, I could obviously tell that was obviously based like Cell, very.
I love movie 13 because it just had so much story in it. Movie 13 was just amazing to me. That whole story with Tapion and his brother, and then the whole thing with Hirudegarn, it was just amazing. I love that movie so much. Cause that was a movie that had the most story in it. It wasn't just punch, fight. It had an actual story.
True.
Yeah. And Iris is very quiet.
Well, cause the only movie I watched was, which one? The Battle of the Gods, and...
Oh, we're getting to that.
Well, I'm talking about the movies that I've seen. So I've seen Battle of the Gods and the Trunks one.
Well, you've seen bits and pieces.
The history of Trunks.
Have you seen the whole thing, like in its entirety, or only the bits and pieces that I've shown you on the internet?
No, I've seen the whole thing.
Yeah, you have?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Why was I not aware of this? I don't know. I don't remember you watching the entire movie.
That's 2 things that you've learned about me today.
Let's go into our favorite characters. Go ahead, Thomas.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, go ahead.
Favorite, as in male ones or
Any.
Your top.
Well, I'm gonna.
Yes, your top 3.
They alter, so I'm gonna have to say, I've had to change, I think I'm gonna have to go with Piccolo, because what I like about him is the fact that he's like a surrogate father to Gohan and everything like that, but also what I like about him is that, he wants very little in life, just a quiet place to meditate, get involved when he can, and he's quite clever, and as he points out, he's always got a plan. Sometimes they work, and sometimes they partly work, and sometimes they start to work and then they fall apart, but, and it's nice to know that even he can still be embarrassed by some things, and even a guy like Goku can bring out a nice purple blush on him and everything like that, think to yourself, I can't believe I'm doing this, or something like that, so I'm gonna have to say I quite enjoy him, because he wants very little in life. That's what I like about him. Second one would have to be Vegeta. I quite enjoy him, the fact is he's so stubborn, and and the fact is he's stubborn, he's proud, and he and even though he does, but deep down, he's an alright kind of guy and everything like that. He has his moments and everything like that. So, he's quite redeemable and everything like that, even though, he's still, well, if he was anyone else, I try and picture Vegeta without anger and I just can't do that, Can you imagine a guy like Vegeta without anger?
He's not, Vegeta's not angry, it's just that he has that pride. It's his pride.
Aggressiveness.
It's his pride that makes him, so high up that he claims to be better than anybody else,
Yeah, I quite like. Yes, I know. I quite like it when they take, and he has to do things that are beneath him or something like that. He sulks like a little kid or something like that. I'm saying, come on, Vegeta, it could be worse or something like that. And third one, I would have to say, I've mentioned before, it would have to be Dr. Gero because, as was pointed out, that he demonstrates what Vegeta could have been like, with borderline obsession, taking over his life and, not time for a family or anything like that and just, destroy this man because, he's destroyed my life. I must get even with him any way possible.
Right, and speaking of Dr. Gero, let's not forget that Android 16 was based off of Dr. Gero's son. It's like...
Super interesting.
That is interesting. I want to know more. Damn it, Toriyama, give us more.
In the anime or in the manga?
Right? Yeah, I want to see that go into deeper detail. And also, 17 and 18's real names are 17's I think is Lapis and 18's is Lazuli, which interesting names that they're based off of stones that can calm people down that have Asperger's syndrome or what was it, Iris? I don't remember off the top of my head.
I honestly can't remember.
Or it was like a specific autism. That's what it was. That's what it was. It wasn't Asperger's in particular.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I also enjoyed 17's backstory. It's like he gets a wife. Thank you. At least he gets a happy ending. It's like you see 18 with Krillin and Marin. It's like, what about her brother? What happened to him?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he disappeared off the face of the planet, didn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so who wants to go next? Favorite characters?
Yeah, okay, my top three. My first favorite is definitely Bulma. Because she is just such an awesome character. She's hot, she's smart. She doesn't let Vegeta give her any type of shit at all. She's always there.
You got that right.
Yeah, she doesn't. And she'll lay down the law right there. For him. She's just such an amazing character. My second favorite would have to be Chi-Chi. I do love Chi-Chi also because, she's basically everybody's mom. That's what she is to me. Like, she's basically everybody's mom. Making sure that your kid does well in school, making sure, they're socializing, making sure, their husband is home on time. I love, Bulma and Chi-Chi, those two, I love them to death. Like, those two. And of course, my third favorite, my only favorite is Future Trunks because you guys know my reasons. I just love him.
Yes, we know them.
I just love him so much. Like, that entrance that he made when he fought Frieza is just like, I know, like, love at first sight isn't supposed to be a real thing, but that's what happened to me when I was 14 years old. That's how I was when I was 14. What about you, Iris?
Definitely Bulma. Because like you said, she's the perfect mix of super hot and super smart. Yeah. And that's just like so cool. I always love the fact that she was a scientist and she could invent things, she's rich, she traveled, she made spaceships, like, Bulma was just super cool for me. Another favorite character that I have is Hercule, because he's so funny. Like, I was playing one of the first Budokai games the other day.
And it's really funny because you get to hear all of his thoughts.
Right.
So he says, like, these really outrageous insults to people, and then in the background it'll play his thoughts of, like, what he really thinks. And it's just really funny.
Right.
And then my third favorite character would have to be Piccolo.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because he was just so mysterious.
Yeah. Like I said, he wants very little.
Mysterious.
Okay, so, before we go into, like, favorite merchandise or whatever, like, if you own merchandise or whatever, you guys have to watch, it's on YouTube, both of you have to watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged. It is amazing. You have to watch it. It's made by Team 4-Star. It is the most amazing thing ever created on the internet. Yeah, it makes fun of, all the characters, but it has a coherent story, and you will not stop laughing until the very end of the episode. It is just amazing. Like, the jokes are great. Like, everything about Dragon Ball Z Abridged is so perfect. You guys have to watch it. Like, give it a chance. Like, even though, it's making fun of
I have watched it a few times and I just can't get into it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What about you, Thomas?
Well, I've seen the episodes you've been nice enough to show me, and I think it's clever and everything like that, but I just don't like it when they take the wind out of things like that. I find it rather insulting. But I think not to everyone else's liking. People like it, others don't, and I'm just a bit in between about it. I think it's real clever, and half of me is real clever, the other half saying, "Oh, you shouldn't really do that. That's not nice." But you think to yourself, but also you think to yourself, but it pleases everyone else. You like it, so I've got no problem with it.
I love it. They do a phenomenal job. Like some of the voice acting in that is like so flawless. Like it's like you're hearing the actual voice actors speaking. It's not, but it's really somebody else. It's other people doing the voices. That's just amazing to me.
They did a good job with the voices.
Yeah, they did. They did a really, really good voice. And I cannot take Mr. Popo, and I cannot take Guru seriously anymore because of DBZ Abridged. I cannot take those two characters seriously anymore. It's just the jokes that they made with those two characters is just like in Dragon Ball Z Abridged they made Mr. Popo like this psychopath. He's a psychopath ready to snap. And Guru has just these amazing, awesome one-liners. It's just so amazing. But yeah, I just wanted to, let people know about Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Okay, have you guys met any other Dragon Ball Z fans?
Yes, I've been. Oh, sorry, Iris, go first.
Go ahead.
Well, I've met lots of people online, of course, like you guys, and in particular, this chick named Agra19. That's her handle. That she does fan art of Dragon Ball Z, and she's super, super good. I've mentioned her before. She did like this whole backstory for like how the Saiyans came to be, like with their different gods and stuff, and it was really cool.
Oh wow!
And she went in on that.
Wow!
And it could be canon. And then she can draw in that style of Akira Toriyama, so it makes it even more like interesting. And then I actually commissioned her a while ago, and she did a picture for me of my my DBZOC,
Nice.
and she's fun, so that was really nice. And then as a teacher, I've actually met several fans of DBZ and from my students.
Aww.
Because I had doodled Majin Buu on my calendar, and so when they would come up to my desk, they would be like, "Teacher, you know Dragon Ball Z?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Aww.
and they say there's hope for you yet.
Aww. My best friends are hardcore Dragon Ball Z fans. Dragon Ball Z was the reason why I have my two best friends since 9th grade. And we have been friends ever since then. And because back then when I was a kid, I was a really shy person. Like, I was very to myself. But my friend, her name's Doreen, she walked up to me one day, in gym class, and she started talking to me. And we started talking about Dragon Ball Z, and, we clicked right after that. We've just been inseparable. And, and then she introduced me to her sister Christina. That's the one that you guys email, whenever you guys have to get me gifts. But Dragon Ball Z was the reason why, I have these two best friends, and I am thankful to DBZ for that. I really am. Mm-hmm. What about you, Thomas?
Well, I owe it to a friend of mine who actually got the ball rolling, and because of that, I took an interest, which led me to meeting you people, and also, in fact, it led me to other people who took interest in anime clubs, and then later on conventions where I go to. Just recently, I went to one and met a couple of chaps dressed up from Dragon Ball Z. One of them was dressed up like Goku, complete with Super Saiyan hair, and his outfit was all torn up. And another fellow dressed like Krillin, and I said to him as he was going by, my word, it must have been murder waiting in the line if you're looking like that. Like somebody beat him up, for his place in the line or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I've met quite a few. You can tell the dedicated fans. Yeah, they're dressed up and cosplaying. I think that's very good dedication. They can do that.
So what about merchandise? Do you guys own anything?
I used to have some figures that they were these special do-it-yourself figures that you would buy the box, and then you would have to put everything together yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used to have Vegeta and Trunks. I had a Goku figure. I've had some of the manga and stuff.
Yeah, me, I just have the DVDs and I have the manga. Like a couple volumes of the manga, pretty much the Cell Saga, that's all I have. And I have volumes, I think 1 and 2 of the colored manga, and I have like these little Dragon Ball Z figures that I have, which are really super, super adorable. What about you, Thomas? Do you have anything?
Just the DVDs mostly, and a poster of Battle of the Gods that just recently acquired. So not very much, but I read a lot of the fanfics, and the ones I enjoy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I guess we can talk about Battle of Gods now. Mm-hmm. How amazing was it? Like, I know, Iris, I feel really bad for you that you didn't get to watch it in theaters, because that whole
I felt so bitter. Living where I live, they don't bring any freaking movies over here. So, I couldn't see Cloud Atlas in theaters. I can't see the song. Couldn't see Battle of the Gods. It's like as if living here in this place, we don't get to deserve all the nice things the white people in America get to have. So it pisses me off.
I know, but that whole experience, like being there with the fans, like when me and my friends, when we went, the whole theater, it was full. Like, and there were a lot of people. Like, there were people even standing. There weren't enough seats for people. Like, people were standing and enjoying the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was just an amazing experience. Yeah. It was just such an amazing experience watching that movie in theaters. What about you, Thomas?
Yeah, same with me. I had to go into the city. I had to go to a very special theatre, and thankfully I went early, but I misjudged of where it was. It was on the other side of the city, and I walked the entire distance when I could have taken the tram. How foolish did I feel? But what really impressed me was when I finally got there.
Yeah,
Pardon?
Exercise. That was your exercise for the day.
No, I do a lot of walking, so I'm very healthy. But when I got there, I was very pleased and amazed to see how many people were already there, and that they'd come this way to actually enjoy it. And when sitting down at the theatre, I was just by myself, but I knew I was not alone in how everyone was enjoying this, because they just come in, sitting in the seats, and by the time that started, there were very few seats left that were empty, I can tell you that. So, they really knew their stuff. And when we were leaving, I was the first one out when it finally finished, and I could not believe the long line that was waiting for the next showing when this one was finished.
Wow, that's yeah. See, Dragon Ball Z is old, but the fandom, we're still strong. We're still strong and kicking. It's like I mean, One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. Whenever the manga comes out in Japan, they break records. But do they have a fandom like this? That whole movie was just amazing. I love them. That is my favorite Dragon Ball Z movie ever. Seeing.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
I quite enjoyed it too, because what I liked about it was the main antagonist wasn't good or evil, but he was just there. What I liked about Bills was the fact that unlike most Dragon Ball opponents, he wasn't aggressive or anything like that. He just did it for a living, And what I liked about it was, he was just indulging a whim, and he just actually took time to hang out and everything like that. And what also impressed me was the fact that Vegeta, you can actually swallow your pride and, act humbly, as it were, because even you aren't that silly enough to take on a god, even one of destruction. If your old man obviously couldn't stand up to him, and had to play the humble, saying, welcome to my humble abode and everything like that, you can do it. And I knew he made the supreme sacrifice by introducing the bingo. I thought to myself, thank goodness you weren't doing karaoke.
Yeah, Vegeta was fabulous in that movie. You know, he was funny when he needed to be funny. He was serious when he needed to be serious. And that whole My Bulma line is just like, yeah, you go, Vegeta, you defend your woman. Unlike Goku.
Yes. Unfortunately,
Goku's dick. I'm sorry. I'm glad we got to this part because I cannot end this podcast without a little rage, okay, towards freaking Son Goku. That bastard. Thomas, I don't know if you've seen the interviews that Akira Toriyama has done recently, but he has revealed, because after the whole My Bulma scene that happened, you know, people were asking questions, and he mentioned that that Vegeta, like, sincerely loves, you know, Bulma, Trunks, and Bra, like, he really loves his family, that he's grown to love them, and, you know, to love his life and stuff, and that Goku only sees Chi-Chi, Gohan, and Goten as friends.
Yeah.
Oh, he's helpless.
Like, he doesn't, you know, and it's just like, you know, it just shattered my whole, it just shattered everything that I knew about Goku. You know, I wrote that fanfic a while ago.
Yeah, right.
About Goku
and Chi-Chi. Mm-hmm.
Reconciling, or however you say that stupid word, after he leaves her, you know, for those 7 years, and then it's like you read that interview, and it's like, why?
Right.
Yeah.
Why? Ugh! I just hate him so much right now. And I will continue to hate him. Because he has a good wife, he's got good kids, and this nigga only considers them to be friends.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But that, you know, that kind of makes sense because he's always running off, you know, either to fight or he's either dead. So, you know, that does make sense.
Well, in the words of Vegeta, I knew he was stupid, but I didn't think he was that stupid.
Yeah, but back to Battle of Gods. That was an incredible movie. Beerus is such a flawless villain. I think he even tops Cell for me now that I've seen him. He was a lot of fun.
I consider him a villain.
Right.
Yeah, I know. That's what I meant about him. He
showed up and he just wanted to fight.
Yeah, and he wanted food. He wanted to try out the different foods.
Well, he wasn't, that's what I liked about him. He wasn't actually a villain, you know, and he was, you know, he was just there because he was trying to, and as it wasn't there, he thought he might as well just enjoy him because, you know, he'd been nicely invited with Whis and, you know, they just hung out, you know.
Right.
So, but, of course, Vegeta knew he was treading on thin ice. He said, just remember, happy, content, god of destruction, good, angry, or bored, very, very bad.
Yes, and then it was Boo eating all of his pudding cups that kind of snapped Beerus over the edge, and then they had a fight on their hands. But yeah, and I like that Goku didn't win the fight like he always does. You know, that it was a tie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was glad to see that Bill's actually kept his word. You know, he destroyed Earth. He never said how much of it though.
Right. Yeah.
Because obviously he did enjoy himself.
Right. And I'm glad that, you know, he said that the movie it didn't really have an ending, that there's that it was an open ending. Like, who knows, maybe it
opens up to continue to other stuff.
It does. Who knows, like maybe in the next movie we'll continue, you know, like the next movie that's supposed to come out in 2015 will continue where Battle of Gods left off. We don't know.
I like the fact that the servant dude, he was stronger.
Right?
they reveal it at the end. Like, it's like, yeah, but we all know that you're actually the strongest one here. And it's like, what?
No, his
still eating his shrimp and stuff. And
right? But his assistant was really his teacher. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you didn't notice. Yeah, because if you noticed, it wasn't sort of like a humble servant with a master or anything like that. It was almost like equals or something like that. You know, it was sort of like I'm saying, cut that out or something like that. Saying, oh, you always spoil my fun. Why do we always argue when we go on vacation or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Before we end this podcast, Iris, let's talk about Dragon Ball Xenoverse. That game that's supposed to come out next year.
Oh,
when you can make your own character. It's like, yes! Finally something like this comes along. You can either be. I can't wait for that game.
Like, I need to buy a PS3 so I can do this, and I can make Kiwi a reality.
Exactly. Same with Galena. I can't wait. I can't wait for that game. It's like so amazing. Like, you can either be a Saiyan, you can either be, you know, whatever Frieza's race is, you can either be a human, you can either be, whatever Boo's race is, you know.
Yeah, something like Boo, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures and I'm thinking to myself, that's what Boo could look like if you rearranged him.
Right?
Very strange.
Yeah, but I can't wait for that next year. That's one thing to look forward to in the Dragon Ball Z universe. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's just great.
Yep.
Alright, guys. That's it.
But I think that's about a wrap, people, isn't it?
Yep, pretty much.
This has been the Fandom Symposium, and you've been listening to Thomas Strobin, Pewter723, and Iris. We've been talking Dragon Ball Z, and we thank you for having a listen, and we'll see you
next time.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time on Dragon Ball Z. No, just kidding. Next time on the Fandom Symposium podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye. さ僕たちは天使だった空の上から愛の種をまき散らしてこの星から悲しみ消したかったねえ広いブルースカイ見上げていると雪が湧かないか背中の羽はなくしたけれどまだ不思議な力残って